to Unraveled Game Thoughts. I have Earth here to do the solo version of the game. There are plenty of other options online if you haven't already seen the solo version, but if you have decided to watch Unraveled Game Thoughts and see me do my solo version, then thank you for watching today. I appreciate it. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of a teach of the solo. There's a lot of similarity between the solo and the version that you'd play multiplayer, but I'm going to teach the solo and walk through the various decision-making things that go into this game. Alright, so we are going to talk components first. We have, hopefully you can see in the top left corner here, and I'll hold them up, we have sprout tokens. Whenever we use sprouts, we'll use those. We have growth tokens. These are the regular growth tokens, but if a card is putting its last growth token, then it'll use a canopy token. They won't, it's more for probably visual presentation than anything. The canopy is just kind of indicates it's the last growth token. It's the top of the tree / plant. And then we have soil tokens in increments of 1, 5, and 10. So we got those. We have the deck of cards. Now technically I got 4 decks of cards here, but pretend it's one large deck. I just kind of mixed them all together into and divided it into 4 because I have my cards sleeved and they'll slide all over the place if they are in one large stack, which is probably what they are meant to be in. We also have our main player board here. This is the solo side of the board that indicates what the Automa or Gaia. Gaia is the name of our Automa player that we're playing against, and this is what Gaia will do. At the bottom of this action, I am using the, I think it's beginner or medium difficulty. It's not the hard difficulty. That would be down here. I am using this difficulty line here. I have 5 tokens, so those I'll explain here in a bit. I have 1 island card that I have chosen. That's just gives me, it tells me what my starting abilities are, gives me a couple of symbols, and potentially an ability. In this case, all my cards that have water will cost me 1 less soil. I have a climate card. Also gives me some symbols. In this case, I have a snow and a water. I've got 2 snow and 2 water symbols essentially, and I have a blue action. If I was to flip this over, on the flip side, it would have been a yellow action. But I decided based on the scoring cards for this game that the blue action would be a little bit better, giving me, letting me discard a sprout to get 3 growth tokens. And then I have my scoring card that is independent to me. Gaia will not score for this card. Actually, Gaia doesn't score any of these cards. She is only going to score for her board and any of these tokens that she was able to put out, or she'll put all 4 out in the game, but a matter of where she puts them. So I will get a number of points for every mushroom card in my tableau at the end of the game, up to, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I get 7, I get 30 points, 6 will give me 28, and then it goes down from there. I'm also going to score these 2 scoring cards, which technically are global scoring cards, although Gaia will not score those. If I was playing against other players, then Gaia would score those, or the other players would score these cards as well. In this case, I'm going to get 6 points for every 2 cards that have a growth value of 5 or more. Now, that doesn't mean that the growth value has to be, that I have to have growth tokens on there. It just means that the value has to be 5 or more. So if I was to, let me find, so we have a card here that the growth value, the final growth value is 5 tokens. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably not the best lighting, but it has 5. So this would score for the purposes of that card. Well, it's every 2 cards that do that. So that by itself would not score, but another card with at least a growth value of 5 would work. And then 2 points for every 3 growth tokens that I actually have on my island. Doesn't matter what their growth value is, it's just every 3 tokens. So it's a lot of this is going to be trying to combine things. So if I can get mushrooms that have growth values of 5 and get tokens on there, that's going to be maximizing my point score. These other 4 cards here are communal goals that all players are working for at the same time. Whenever you reach one of those goals, and you can potentially reach multiple on a single turn, you're going to put one of these leaf tokens at the highest point on that goal. You can only get each goal 1 time during the game. Gaia will definitely get all 4 because she doesn't necessarily have to meet the goal, she just puts a token out there. So to some degree, if I can beat her to getting tokens out there, that's going to be in my best benefit. And those are going to be for this particular plant type, which is like I'm looking for mushrooms here, but this particular plant type, 4 of those in the tableau will get me this goal. That's probably the easiest one to get. Any 2 sets of 5 cards that include all 4 color types and an event. So basically I need 2 events, 2 yellow, 2 blue, 2 red, and 2 of the, I guess, desert card or terrain cards, I think is what they're called, terrain cards. So not green, I don't need 2 green cards, but that's not really, it's really red, blue, and yellow. The green is more for planting cards into your tableau than anything else. 6 flora with at least 4 sprout cubes on them. And then 20 cards in my hand at a given point. So those are the things that I'm kind of competing for as I go through my tableau. Now the game will end when either Gaia gets through her deck twice, or, and it's 6 cards, and 2 of the cards in this deck she skips the next turn and I just get an extra turn. She'll get through this deck twice, or I will finish my tableau with 16 cards. Either one of those things will end the game. So let's get started. We'll start with what are my starting resources. Well, I'm going to get to draw 8 cards. Now at the beginning of this game, before I was on screen, I got to choose which side of this card I wanted to use, and every card is, except for the base kind of main cards in the game, all the other cards, scoring and otherwise, are double-sided. So like I have all these scoring cards, and every single one of these is double-sided and a completely different scoring card. So you have, I don't know, what's that, like 25 cards? A lot of different scoring options. This is the climate cards, again, each one double-sided. I think there's roughly 10 of them there. Same with island cards, roughly 10. And same with the collective, I forget what you call these, but the cards that are scoring for your racing to get your leaves out to score. Each one of these is double-sided. There's probably, roughly 20 of those, 15 to 20. Something like that. So lots of variability in what you can end up scoring in the game. I've probably played this game maybe 12, 13 times, and it's been different every single time. I've not had the same 2 games, same 2 scoring opportunities in any one game. Alright, so our first thing is we're going to draw, it says I need to draw 8 cards. So I'm going to draw 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then of these 8 cards, I'm going to compost 3 of them. This is my compost pile. I'm either composting from the deck or from my hand. In this case, it's from my hand. And then I'm going to get 8 soil. I'll go ahead and grab 8 soil. And this little section of my board here is for holding soil. And let's figure out the cards. So, things I'm looking for in this game: mushrooms that have room for up to 5 growth tokens are probably premium for this game. So I'm going to check for that first. I don't have one. It's an event card that lets me pay a sprout to cycle 3 cards from the deck. It's not the worst. Don't know that I need it. There is a mushroom card. Now the other thing is 4 cards that have that leaf symbol, and I've got 2 in my hand. If they also had growth tokens, that would be ideal. Nothing has 5 growth tokens, so I didn't really get a lot here that is super helpful. Things that give me soil and don't cost me growth are not bad. This allows me to cycle stuff from my hand or remove cards from my compost pile to draw cards. And drawing up to 20 is the thing that I want, and I want more cards in order to better get the game, get the cards that I want to meet the criteria that I'm trying to get. This is another one that lets me move stuff from my hand to gain soil and from my compost pile. So that one, both of these are kind of helpful as far as at least drawing cards and meeting some other goals, even though they don't have the growth tokens that I want. So I'm going to put those to the side for now. This one costs me a growth token for 3 soil, which is not a bad trade-off, and it's a mushroom, which would fit this goal. It doesn't have the growth tokens I want, but it might be helpful, so I'm going to put that there. Cost of soil for 2 growth tokens, not bad, but it's pretty expensive. It doesn't meet any of the other requirements. I am probably going to be composting that. I might come back and decide not to do that, but we'll see for now. This one's another mushroom, meets a different goal, does have room for sprouts, which could be helpful. I forget why sprouts are helpful. Oh, 6 flora with 4 or more sprouts. Well, we have 1 there that could fit that. We have 2 that could fit that, so I'll say that's a maybe. It puts a sprout on every one of this plant type, but I'm not really looking for that plant type in my tableau. So that is probably a compost one. And this one from compost to get a soil, a sprout, and a growth. Well, that's kind of nifty. That's not a bad one. And this one puts cards, pays sprouts to put cards into my deck. Now I'm going to need to compost some things to get stuff into my compost, because I have a lot of cards here that require paying from my compost pile. But I think it gives me a point for a sprout. It's not a bad deal. I'm debating whether this blue action is worth it. It fits other things. It does have the 5 growth tokens, but it's not a mushroom. I think I'm going to go with this, because I don't want to fill my tableau with stuff that I don't need, so I'm going to take a chance, put that in there. And I'm going to start with these 5 cards, and I go first because player goes first before the other agent. I didn't get the starting token out of the box. I left it in the box, so instead of taking my laptop off the box in order to get that, I'm just going to use this to indicate which action I'm taking each turn. Hopefully that shows up on screen against the black border. I think it will. I really like getting this card out. It costs 7. I think one of the catches is I'm not going to have enough, I won't have enough soil to play 2 cards in 1 turn, so I don't really want to use a green action to gain cards until I have enough soil. I could draw cards, but then I don't have a place to grow anything. So I think I like this action best, just gaining 5 soil, which I'm going to do the first thing. I'm going to gain 5 soil, and then I'm going to compost 2 cards from the deck as opposed to my hand. And then now Gaia is going to compost 2 cards from the deck plus 2 cards for every soil I took. Well, I took 5 soil and didn't get anything else, so she will compost a total of 4 cards there. And that is my turn. So now it's Gaia's turn. And Gaia is going to grow, but before she grows, this happens here. I get 2 growth, or I get to draw 2 cards. It's my choice. So I'm going to draw 2 cards, and we're going to have to see what I got here. It's 2 terrain tiles. This one allows me to draw more cards. This one is all my rocks will cost 1 less soil. That's not bad. This one will give me also 3 points for every cacti in a particular column. Not bad. That's not going to score me much. I like the drawing cards for the green action though, so that's nice. And then I would activate all my yellow or rainbows that have any others that have a yellow, but I don't have any yellow in my tableau, and I don't have any yellow here that needs to trigger. So then Gaia is going to get 7 growth tokens. Whoops. We've got 5, 6, 7, and we're probably going to use some regular ones. So 7 growth tokens, and Gaia starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the catch here is, oops, I'm sorry, this could only hold 5. So one of these growth tokens is going to go back to the main area there, and Gaia is going to get, that's 5 because it's the top one, but 6, 7 still goes here. So because this has a full canopy, that's 7 points for Gaia. But everything's calculated over here on the end, so it makes it a little easier as far as scoring. And then 1 growth token for every card I drew this turn. So that's going to be 2 more growth tokens for Gaia, which is actually going to complete that particular canopy. Alright, so now it is my turn. Now, it's a pretty inefficient turn for me as far as that goes, because Gaia did very well. I think I am going to plant cards this turn, and I'm really wanting actions that will allow me to compost from my hand or use my compost pile to draw cards. So we are going to pay 7, and this does not have, well, maybe we can make this cheaper. Let's see something here. That doesn't have water, so that's not going to work. So we're going to do 5, 6, 7, and we can place this technically anywhere in our tableau. So we're going to put it out here. We have 16 cards out here, but this one to some degree is fluid. The next card I play has to touch it, but other than that, I don't have to think too much about it. The next action we want to take, I kind of like this action because I'm taking the green action. So if I do this, I'll end up getting to draw another card. And this is going to give me 3 for every one of these cacti in this column. Not too bad. Not like my number 1 card. Mushroom, that will let me pay that for soil. This will let me compost from hand to get that. Make all my rock cards cost 1 less. I don't dislike this one. Makes everything a little cheaper in my tableau, but it doesn't fit any of the other goals in the game. It's more of kind of an engine builder sort of thing. And I really need to draw cards, and all my water cards cost 1 less. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this one, and I'm going to pay 4, or actually technically this costs 4. I'm going to pay 3 because I pay 1 less because of my starting island card. And I want to put this here, and we'll just say that's there. But again, as long as these stay relevant to each other, I can still shift around. I don't know where exactly we're going to have them technically starting in our tableau. So we'll do that. And I took a green action, so that means, well, number 1, I get to draw 4 cards. So I'm going to draw 4. And I get to discard, I get to keep 1, and the other 3 are going to go to Gaia's scoring section. So that's something I need to bear in mind, because like this one, it will score 13 for Gaia. That is a huge card. And it scores 2 points for every rock. I'm sorry, no, never mind. I'm looking at the soil cost. It's the scoring cost I want to look at. This one scores 5, and this scores 1. Now this is a growth for yellow action, which is not bad. I'm going to want to draw cards, and I can pay a growth to gain 2 cubes. It's okay. I really want those mushrooms with space for 5 things. This is just an outright cube and a growth token. I really kind of like that as an event card. I think that's a pretty good event. But I don't want to give Gaia 5, and this is going to make all sun cost 1 soil less, which could be pretty significant, because then I'll have 2 that would be reducing my cost on a lot of cards. That could be pretty impactful. So I think I am going to keep that one so that Gaia is not getting quite as many scoring cards. And then it's Gaia's turn. Gaia is going to, oh, and now, well, I can also activate my green abilities after I'd finished that. So that's just drawing a card because I have 1 green ability. And that gives me a green ability of cycling 2 cards from my hand. That's not bad. And 3 for every mushroom in this column, and I want mushrooms in at least a column. So, not a bad deal. I could potentially use that. Okay. So Gaia drew the compost card here, and I get either 2 soil or cycle 2 cards from my hand and then activate all my red actions. Or sorry, 2 cards from the deck or 2 soil. Well, I think I'm going to need soil. So I'm going to grab 2 soil. And then I activate all my red actions. I don't have any on my board, but I do have this, which allows me to discard a card to gain a soil. And I think this card was already, it's a tough choice. That's for that in column. That's my soil cost less. It's a mushroom card, but this is probably the mushroom card I'm least attached to. Rocks will cost 1 less. It's a tough choice. Tough choice. I think this one is going to be the one I compost. And that, basically I compost 1 from my hand and I get another soil. So then Gaia will gain, compost 8 cards from the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus gain 1 soil for every soil I gained this turn. And I gained 3. So that's going to give Gaia 3 soil. And when Gaia gets up to 10 soil, she just spends it and gets to compost 5 cards from the deck, which is 1 point per at the end of the game. Alright, so that is Gaia's turn, and now it is my turn. And what do we want to do here? Do I have enough to plant any cards? I don't think I do. At least not enough to be worth planting. I don't have enough to fill up if I use the blue action yet. Well, there's 2. I could plant that, and that would at least get that going. And that would make this, all my rock stuff, a little cheaper. And that would make all of those a little cheaper. So there is some room for arguing for planting cards to get things going. I could also plant these, and that would reduce the cost of future cards by a long shot. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and early on in the game get my card costs down significantly. So I'm going to take the green action, and we're going to end up paying, we're not getting any discounts because these don't have any water on them. We might be able to get a discount on one of them. Yeah, one of them is going to end up discounting the other, because if I pay 2 for this one, and we'll do, I kind of want these to be like so. I like that one getting triggered first, and we'll do this. We'll try to do some of that plant type in this column, maybe score some points. And if we then pay this, this makes all rock ones cost 1 less, so this one will cost 1 instead of 2. And now our tableau spacing is a little bit more established. We have room to go down 1 more, but we're over 4 now, so we're kind of locked in that way, and we have room for 1 more card below. I'm going to go ahead and pop those up there, so hopefully most of these will be on screen. I apologize if they are slightly off. Okay, so that's our 2, and then we draw 4 cards, and we have to give 1 to, we're actually going to give 3 to Gaia. So we have a 5-pointer, a 2-pointer, a 1-pointer. So the question is, how much of this is going to be useful to me? That one has the number of growth tokens I want, that one has the number I want, and that one has the number I want. So we're definitely going to give this one to Gaia in the scoring area. The question is, which of these do we want? Now this helps me grow, has the growth tokens, it's not a mushroom though. This one is probably, it's not a plant type that really helps me score any points. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the scoring area. It's 0 points for Gaia, so I can live with that. This 5-pointer, which I can discard 1 of those, a sprout to cycle any 2 from my hand. That's not bad. And it's going to be worth an extra 3 points for me at the end of the game for a total of like 8 points. And it'll cost 1 less. Or I can pay a soil to put 3 growth tokens out, which is not a bad deal, especially since I want to draw cards. It's a yellow action. I kind of think this one is going to be the one that I keep. I hate to give Gaia a 5-point card, but I think this one's going to be slightly more valuable to me and may let me get to that first thing first. So that's the one I'll keep. Added the discards there, so now it's Gaia's turn. Gaia turns over a blue, so before Gaia does anything, I get either 2 sprouts or 2 soil. I need the soil, but I also could use the sprouts because I am needing to pay sprouts for certain cards that I put out, so I might as well get a few to start, and then I won't take that blue action as often. Plus, when I trigger my board, I will have an option. So now I trigger all blue actions, and I only have 1 blue action, but I needed a sprout to even trigger it, and that gives me 3 growth tokens, but I have nowhere to grow, unfortunately. So that is sad. Gaia is going to get 7 growth tokens. So there's 3, 6, 7. Did I count that right? That's 7. Plus a growth token for each of each blue card of mine, which I do believe includes this board. So that's going to be one extra token for Gaia. And so we're going to do, you know what, I'm going to do them from the bottom up because I think it's less likely that nope, I'll do it from the top down. They're kind of finicky trying to get these on here without bumping them too much, but I haven't looked online yet for like a 3D printed display that you can put on top of it to keep things in place. Okay, that is Gaia's turn. So now it is my turn. I could use soil. I've got some reasonable cards in hand. I'm going to go ahead and as a free action, I'm going to play this event, which costs me one of these. You know what? I paid my thing over here, but I didn't have anything to grow. I didn't actually have to pay it. So I will pay one of those two, and that will give me 3 cards to compost from the deck. So we'll do that. Give me a little bit more in my compost pile. And do I want to draw cards? I think I just need soil. I think that is my main objective right now, is getting some soil. And then I'm going to compost 2 from the deck. And then I can trigger all my red actions, which I can compost 1 from hand to get a soil. The question is, what do I want to compost? Well, this mushroom wasn't always, it was always kind of a low end option, so I will compost that for a soil. And then it is going to be Gaia's turn, and Gaia gets to compost 2 from the deck plus 2 for every soil I gained, and I gained 6 soil, so that's going to be 5 total compost for Gaia. And then Gaia's going to flip a card. Now Gaia gets to choose either of the upper fauna objectives, and they're going to place one of their leaf tokens there. So Gaia just gets a leaf token. I'm putting Gaia's over here on the 20 plus cards in hand because I think there's a chance I could get that one on the top left, possibly. And because this is a beginner, we're doing the beginner level, we're going to skip Gaia's next turn. So Gaia will skip a turn, and then I will go, so I'll technically go twice. Now Gaia still gets the bonus action of my turns, but I'm going to get 2 turns in a row here. And we're going to see what we can do. We really need to draw cards. And we need a place to grow some things. So I think I can potentially play 4 cards. So, or 2 cards. So I think I'm going to go here. I'm going to pay 5, 6, 7, technically 8, but water cards are going to cost 1 less. So each of these is a water. So that's going to cost 1 less for those. All rock cards are going to cost 1 less. So it's going to be 1 less for that one. And all sun cards cost 1 less. So it's going to be 1 less for that one, which means I'm actually only going to end up paying 4 for both of these cards that would normally cost 8. So that is not a bad deal. This is one of those leaf, or the card that matches the symbol here, so that'll help me with that. And then we have mixed stuff here. Now the problem is I actually don't know that I want to put that there. Because, well, it doesn't really, actually it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because I want as many mushrooms in a row as I can get, but I'm kind of in a rough place here as far as that goes, so I'll just put this here and hope for putting mushrooms in this column, putting cacti in this column, and see if we can do all right with that. But I think pretty much from now on, the rest of the cards in my tableau, I really want them to be like matching what I'm trying to do in the tableau, which means we're probably getting rid of this card, most likely. Now, that was the green action. Now I also get to draw 4, pick one, and give the rest of the scoring cards to Gaia. And we have a 1, 1, 2, and a 1 pointer. So nothing terribly bad here. We've got orthogonally adjacent card scoring plus a growth token on that one. We have, well, let's see if we have any. None of these are going to give us the what we want as far as the scoring stuff up here. At least not the ones we really want. We're going to need to draw a lot of cards eventually. This one is probably the most significant. That's a mushroom. We're probably getting rid of whatever card we get either way. So I'm just going to keep the one worth the most points for Gaia, and most likely we'll be moving on from it and give that to Gaia. And then Gaia skips her turn because of that card, and I am going to get to go. And I'm going to eventually need more soil, but what I really need is cards, and I have some things that can grow now. So I'm going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I get 2 growth tokens, so I'm going to go ahead and pay these two, put these 2 growth tokens there on that card, because there's room for it. And then I can trigger all my yellow actions. Well, I have none on my board, but I can trigger these over here. This allows me to spend one of my compost pile to draw 2 more cards. I will do that because I need them. And this allows me to pay a soil for 3 growth tokens. I don't know if I want to do that yet. I think I need my soil, so I'm going to pass on that one. And then Gaia is going to get a growth token for every card I drew this turn. Well, I drew 4, 5, 6. I drew 6 cards this turn, so Gaia is going to get 6 growth tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's see. So we're going to put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll put that there, and that's my growth tokens. Okay, for Gaia. So, took my second turn, triggered everything. I believe it is Gaia's turn next. I've done all the things. Let's check out these cards I got and see what is. I'm starting to get. I'm going to start getting enough of a hand here that I really want to sort through and get the cards that I am really after and composting other things. So this one at least fits the goal of the 5 growth tokens, but it's not a mushroom, but it does fit the 5 growth tokens. We have 2 cards here that have the potential. They give me soil and they give me that particular option. There's a mushroom, but doesn't really give me a ton of stuff that I want. There's another one of the growth tokens, and it fits that, so that's a for sure. We want to hang on to that one because it fits at least 2 different things we're trying to do. This is probably sketchy, so I'd say of these cards in my hand, and I'm playing pretty aggressively as far as getting rid of stuff now and really looking for things that I really want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to say 7 of these are probably going to be for the compost pile, and this one is the one I want to play, which costs 9 soil. It's got sunshine, so it ended up costing me 8 soil, but that gives me an idea of where I'm starting from. So now it's Gaia's turn. Gaia does the green action. If I want to, I can plant a card and draw 1 card. Now, I only have 5 soil, so the question is, do I want to plant a card that is going to benefit me? Now, this one will cost me 0 soil, has room for cubes, allows me to discard compost from my hand to get cubes, and matches that particular goal in the game. I like that. That cost me 0 soil. Because I have the discount, I might go ahead and play that card into my tableau. And even though it doesn't help with some of the other things I'm going for, it will at least potentially get me that extra 4 points over Gaia there. So I'll do that. Actually, I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if that's worth it. 2 red, 2 green. I need 2 blue because I need a blue. This one would be 4 soil, and it's going to give me a blue action, which I kind of need, plus another event card. It's not worth any points, but it's going to give me soil faster. But I have a lot of things that give me soil, so I may not need that one. This is the tough part of the game. I think I am going to go with the free card there and see how that works. Still want to get that one. That'll give me some cubes out, give me a few options, and it will work toward that goal. So I planted a card, I get to draw a card. So now I'll just look at them and see what does it fit. Well, it definitely fits, 4th of those symbols, and it has 7 trunks, 2 soil for 4 growth. Kind of fits everything I'm trying to do there. And then Gaia is going to draw 3 cards and add all 3 to the scoring phase. So Gaia just got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points off of those cards that she drew. So fantastic. All right. My turn. I am going to need soil, but I also need to draw cards. I have some room for growth tokens. Can I get any soil off of other things? I think I am going to go ahead and get soil. Not my favorite thing yet, but I'm going to go ahead and compost those and trigger all my red abilities. I can discard a card from my hand. I'm going to go ahead and do that one and get a soil for this one. And you have to trigger left to right, top to bottom. So now I can discard another one from my hand. And I tend to, this is just a thing that I do. This is not in the rules or any kind of requirement. I like to divide my cards into kind of like cards I'm pretty sure I'm getting rid of, and cards that I really want to play because they fit my goals. Because as you go through the game, you're going to get so many different cards that helps to kind of have them. So that way when I have to compost, I don't have to think through every time, what is it I wanted to compost? I just have my sort of cards I'm ready to compost pile, and then I have cards I really want to play pile. And I just have to keep track of how much soil I need for each of those. So that's my own little strategy for that, to speed up my turns. Oh. You know what? When Gaia did this green action last time, I never took my green action cards. So I'm going to do that now. We got a mushroom that has spots for 4. Can give me some card draw. It's not bad, but it doesn't have what I'm really looking for in the other aspect. And then I can compost 2 from my hand, and I will go ahead and do that. So now he's going to draw this, and he's going to choose either one of the lower objectives and put one of his leaves out, or her leaves out. So between this 2 sets of each of the 5 cards and 6 plus sprouts on, or 4 sprouts on 6 flora, I think this is the one I'm least likely to get. And now I'm going to get 2 turns in a row here. And the catch is going to be, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Because I really need soil. 9, 16 to play these, and I would have enough to play both of these once I got soil. So I think I'm going to get soil and then play cards. So this pushes my luck just a little bit, but I feel like it might be worth it in the long run if I can do this, and I will qualify for a goal here, so I'll take it. So there is 5 soil, plus we get to compost 2 cards from the deck. We'll do that. And then Gaia is going to get to compost 2 cards plus a soil for every soil I gained. Oh, and I triggered my actions. So I can compost another card from my hand to gain a soil. That give me just 1 more. And then I can compost another from my hand to gain a cube, which I'll do. That's all my red actions. So they gave me a total of 5, 6 soil. So I think he's getting for every 2, 1, 2, 3. Plus the 2 he gets. Yep. So there's all his compost, her compost. And then on my second action, boom, I'm going to go here. I'm going to plant 2 cards. So the first card I'm going to plant is going to cost me 6 because I get a discount. I'm going to play this guy here. And that's going to definitely give me this one because I'll have 4 of that plant type. And this one fits the other goal that I have, but it's not a mushroom, which I kind of don't like. It means I'm probably going to put it over here. Cost me 9, but it's sun, so technically 8. So I will do that, and I'll put that down there. And that we're not really trying to play. It was a green action, so then we get to draw 4 cards and pick one and give one to Gaia. No high points here. This gives me a ton of soil. This would give me 6 growth. I really need another event, but these are lost point events, and I'd rather get something a little easier. Sorry if you hear noise, my family is outside the door talking. All these cost -2. I definitely don't care about that one because it's I'm not going to use it. This is a cactus, very close to the amount of cards I want. Does give me the ability to play a cactus that give me some points off of that card, but it doesn't fit my goal in other ways. So basically I'm going to take away the card that gives Gaia the most points in this one and just give her the other scoring cards there. And then I can trigger my green actions, which means I'm going to draw a card. There's a mushroom, 3, fits the mushroom theme, but that is about all it does. Costs a decent amount for not quite everything I want. Probably not going to play that one. And then I can compost 2 from my hand, which I will do as such. And that's me. So that's my 2 turns, and now Gaia gets to go, and she's going to shuffle her 6 cards. I am 5, 6, 7 cards from finishing my tableau. It is looking real tough here. Not quite getting the ones I want, and probably not going as fast as I would like. But you can see I did build half my tableau with 1 round of Gaia's cards, so could be worse. Could be worse. Alright, so let's see what Gaia draws. Gaia is going to plant. Now, I get to plant a card if I want. I only have 2. This is water. I get a discount, so I'm not going to get to plant a card. I'm just going to draw a card. Again, got a card that doesn't really fit what I'm trying to do. So I can activate green cards. So I'll draw another card. I got an event. That's not bad. I will go ahead and play that event because events are kind of anytime. I'm going to play 2 cubes to get 4 soil. I could use the 4 soil. Now I can't go back and plant a card. Well, I drew a card. No, I was activating green powers. I'd already done the first thing, so I can't do that. And I have these 2 cards, which I think I'm probably not going to use. I'm just going to go ahead and compost those here. And then Gaia draws 3 cards and adds them to her tableau. And she got 6 points off of that. That's not terrible. And then it's my turn. I absolutely and desperately need cards. So I'm going to take the yellow action here and draw 4 cards. And then I am going to grow 2. So I will just take these guys and put that there. And I am going to activate my tableau. I can pay a card from my compost pile to draw 2 more cards, giving me a total of 6. And I can pay a soil, which I'll go ahead and do, to gain 3 growth tokens. So 1, 2, and 3. Both of these take up to 4 growth tokens, but they score 7 points if they have canopies, so that's not bad. Alright, let's see the cards we got. Did I do... Oh, 2 soil for 4 growth tokens. I don't need that one yet. And I have a yellow here. I can pay 1 more of these to draw another card. I could definitely use all the card draws I can get. So let's see. This is 5 points for each diagonally adjacent thing to this guy. Wow. 10 points plus 5, so if I put it like there and played one here, I wouldn't score for the mushroom thing, but I would potentially score, 20 points. That's a valuable card. I'm going to probably keep that one. This gives me soil. It's an event card. I don't like that. It's a flash flood. That doesn't cost me a lot of points. So I'd rather have cards that don't cost me points. I need to check another thing. I might have met this. Do I have 2 red cards? Yes. Do I have 2 blue cards? Blue and blue. You do count your tableau, so I have 2. Do I have 2 yellows? 2 yellows. Do I have 2 terrain tiles? I do. Do I have 2 events? I do. So last turn I met the qualifications for that. I'll take it, because I need it. Alright. We have a mushroom. Let me pay for some or all this floral cost with cards from my compost pile instead of that, but it doesn't give me a lot of points. It's not really worth it. I'm not going to put that out there. All of those cards cost -2. I don't need that. 4 points from whatever at the end of the game, -4 points. Give up 6 cubes to draw 6 cards. That's a little too costly for me, in my opinion. Red action gives me a cube and a thing. That's not bad, but it's only a mushroom. It's not really what I'm looking for. It's not a ton of points. So I'm going to say that is compost pile material. So we've got a 5. How many cards do we draw at a time? 7. And he gets a growth for every card I drew that turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's Gaia's, and then it's going to be Gaia's turn. That was the yellow action. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm glad I got the things I did when I got them. And because Gaia is going to choose either of the other upper objectives, and she's going to take that one. But I've already scored the top spot, so Gaia's getting the spot I would choose for her if I was getting to choose, and now I get 2 actions in a row. I still didn't really get the cards that I wanted. It's not... I hate to take another yellow action, but I need soil and I need cards. And I don't know... I know I'm going to need a decent amount of soil for this card, although it's going to be discounted by 2, so technically 7. I think it's going to be worth it to score that card, but I'm definitely going to need more cards. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cards action here, and I'm going to get 4 cards plus 2 growth tokens. So we'll get 1 and 2. And then we'll trigger our tableau here. Do we want to pay a soil for 3 growth? We're not going to pay either of the soil. Well, this one we have to trigger first. I will pay a card from my compost pile to draw 2 cards because that'll be worth it. And I don't have any more of these to pay in order to draw another card. So total of 6 cards, which means Gaia is going to get 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6th one here. Let's see, pop that there, and 6. They're a little precarious. All right. So I took the yellow action twice. I gave Gaia the things that she gets, and then Gaia is going to get to go. So she's going to water. I get soil or 2 cubes. Ooh, and then I'm going to trigger all the stuff, all the blue actions in my tableau. Well, I'm actually going to take the 2 cubes, and partly because even though I can't trigger this, I can. I could. I can't trigger that. I do actually have a spot for some growth tokens down here. So I'll do that, and then I'll trigger this one down here, which lets me draw a card. And we'll take a look at those cards in a minute to see what all I got. So I did that, I activated that, and then Gaia is going to get 7 cubes plus a cube for each growth token of mine. So what do I have? 6, 7, and I have 2 blue actions. So that's going to be the watering for Gaia, and we'll do that. Alright? We are getting close to the end of this game because Gaia's deck is going to be out here very shortly, so I don't have much longer to finish my tableau. Now let's see what cards we got here. 2 points for every red in any one player's tableau. That would be 2, 4, 6 points and nothing else, so not worth the 9 it costs to pay. This one is a mushroom and 6 of those. That fits what I'm trying to do. We got a mushroom and a 2. Not a lot of points. We've got a 6. That's not bad. Very functional, useful thing there. That's a 2. Not very helpful. 12 and 3 for each landscape tile. So this costs 12, but 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It'd be worth 15. It's going to be hard to pay for, but it's not impossible. No, and maybe. I'd say maybe. So that's where we're at. Let's see what we can do. We have got to get soil like nobody's business. But do we want to water first? Water does not help Gaia a ton, but it does help me a decent amount. So I'm going to go ahead and water, and I'm going to get 6, plus it's going to give me a tiny bit of soil, just 2. Maybe with the discounts I'll be able to sneak by, and she gets 1 soil for one sprout for each of my blue powers, which I only have 2. I would trigger my blue powers, but what would I trigger them for? I would trigger it for getting a card here because I can use cards. Ooh, 10 growth tokens. I'm probably not going to use that, but there's a remote chance. I'll put it in my potential keep options. And let's see what Gaia does. Gaia is going to grow, and I get either 2 growth tokens or 2 cards. Definitely gonna take the cards for now. Possible. I'm gonna say both of these are in the possible range. And then I activate all my yellow cards. What are we gonna get to activate here? We're definitely gonna pay a compost for drawing 2 cards. And this one's a maybe. That's a maybe because of some scoring opportunities. And 2 points for everyone. That costs too much. We're not going to get that one. And then down here we can pay a soil for 3 growth. Don't want to. 2 soil for 4 growth. Don't want to. Pay a cube to draw a card. Definitely will do that. And that isn't quite what we're looking for. Although it does have some potential for other points. So I will put it there. And then Gaia is going to gain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 1 for every card I drew, and I drew 2 cards, right? 3, 4 cards. Alright, so 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. The cards I drew. So we're going to put the canopy on that. That's 1. We'll put a canopy there. That's 2. This holds 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll throw a canopy on there. That one is super precarious. I don't think that's a good one. Let's try it this way. Yeah. And 1, 2, 3. There's all the room for 1 more. And that's Gaia's turn. It is my turn. So I think we are in the... We have to plant. We're going to have to plant. So I've got 5 cards here, or options. I really kind of like the idea of getting this one down at some point, which means I also would like to get this one down. The cat grass. That will cost me 0. I'm going to go ahead and put that down, because if I can get this down, and that will cost me 7 actually, I can feasibly go ahead and get that down and make sure it's in a tableau. And the reason I wanted to do that is because now I have 3 of these, 5 points for each of that plant next to this diagonally. So that gives 5, 10, 15, plus it's worth 10 points. That's an awfully big play. And that's my 2 cards. And the question is, do I want to play anything else? Like an event, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think I'm going to. But I get to draw 4 cards, and I've got to give 1 to this guy over here, which kind of stinks because there are some here I kind of like, but I don't want to give him 10 points, so I'm going to take those away from her. That's the green action, and then Gaia gets to go. So 2 soil or compost 2. I'm going to take 2 soil because I need soil. And then I'm going to activate all my red powers. We are going to use that one up here to gain a soil. I think we need all the soil we can get. Is it worth it? Oh, compost from hand. Yeah, we're definitely doing that in order to gain a sprout. Worth it. And we can pay 1 to draw a card, but I don't think I need to pay a cube to draw a card. I have enough cards to play, and that's it. So Gaia is going to compost 8 cards. What is that? 4, 6, 7, 8, plus 1 soil for every card I gain this, for every soil I gain this turn, and I gained, what, 2 soil? 1, 2, 3. I gained 3 soil. So Gaia gains 3 soil. Alright? 3. And that's to Gaia's compost. And then it is my turn. Now, the catch is, am I going to be able to play? Am I going to be able to play 2 cards if I go? Let's see. That's an event. That's not going to matter. I'm definitely not going to be able to play. That one will be 12, 11, 10, 9. I'm not going to play any of those because they're too expensive, as is that. So I'm down to these 4 cards that are potentially playable, and the catch is, are they going to give me other points in other ways? How many mushroom cards did I get down? 0. Playing 1 isn't going to give me any points from that card. I would have to play 2, but playing this card here is worth 3 points, and potentially some cubes depending on my last action. So I need to play all the points I can get. Did I have 20 cards in my hand? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know if I had 20 cards in my hand. I kind of think I did at one point. So I'm gonna, I wasn't counting, but I think I had 20 at one point. So I think I had more at one point in the game, and I forgot to put that down there. So I'm gonna do it that way. So that's 1. Can I play another card? This one would cost me 2. It meets my point thing. It doesn't do a whole lot. Well, this is worth 3 if I can play it, but I don't have what I need to play it. Do I have any mushroom cards here that I could play? That could be. That's a mushroom card. That would cost me 2 less. That would only cost me 1. And it would end up being worth a decent number of points at game's end. That would only cost me 1. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out because there's some level of room where we might be able to do something with this. Let's say you may pay also with that instead of Oh, you compost from hand. Okay. Well, that's actually pretty handy. So I think we'll do that. I think we'll play this here. And we'll compost 1, 2, 3 from hand instead of the soil cost. I like that. I think I'm going to do that and then see what I can come up with. So that's the green action, and then I'm going to draw 4 cards and pick what to give and what to keep here. Well, I think we'll just keep the 5 one and give him or her everything that costs 0. And then she is going to do that, the lower fauna cost, and I am going to get 2 turns, and that's going to be game. So if I can close this out, she's not ending the game yet because she skips her next turn. But I get a turn to do something, and then we go from there. So can I even play 2 cards to my tableau? That is going to be the question. I'm definitely not getting those played. It's going to have to be cheap. It's not going to be those. I don't want to play that. I could play 2 cards. It's not undoable. And then I'm going to get 1 more turn. So I think this might be the most functional way to do this. This one, both of these are going to cost me 1. So I'm going to go ahead and pay 2. And I'll put 1 here, and I'll put 1 here. We'll do that. And then we're going to draw 4, and I keep 1 and give the rest to Gaia. So I'm probably going to want to... None of these give a ton of points. The question is, does one of them give me any significant points? A mushroom card is good, but that would give Gaia 5 points, and I might need something less. So I'm gonna take the mushroom card and give Gaia those, and Gaia is technically going to get to finish the game, I think. I get 1 more turn, and then it would be... No, I guess I get 1 more turn. Gaia skips a turn, and now I get a turn. So I think I can, theoretically, this I get a 2 discount on. I could pay a soil and play that. I'm not going to be playing the other card, but I do believe that gives me the 7 for that, and I have to draw 4 cards. And the other thing I haven't been doing is doing those 2. I should have composted 2 from my hand last turn when I took the green action. So I'm going to go ahead and compost those 2. And I'm taking the green action now, and I'll compost those. I don't need to draw a card. So of these 4, I have to keep 1. These could be helpful. That draws 4 cards. No, that's going to give points to Gaia. So I'm going to keep 1 of these point cards and give Gaia the others. And that's going to end the game. Okay, so that is all of Earth. I am going to do points here for Gaia. Let's see what we got. You get a pen. Alright. Gaia is going to... see, Gaia and Wade. So Gaia is going to score all these point cards here. This is like the scoring area for Gaia. So it's this like 0, 1. Negatives, you just count them as their, instead of -3, it's just 3. So we've got 4, 6, 7. These are all zeros. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21, 26, 35, 40, 1, 2, 47, 48, 49. So Gaia scores 49 for scoring cards, which includes all event cards. Compost pile. Let's see what Gaia gets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30 from compost pile. And then Gaia is going to score for these. Now these 25 and 25, they did the math for you. 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 35 for growth tokens. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19 for those. And I don't have my scorebook here. I don't think soil gives Gaia anything. But Gaia will get points for these. So 15, 25, 26, 36, 41, 51, 52 for those points. And that leaves Gaia with 18, 19, 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18. 185 for Gaia. Not bad. Now, let's see what I did. Now, I'm going to get points for all my cards that are face up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 39, 40, 41, 46, 49, 51, 52, 53, 45. So 55 for cards. My event cards, I got -1. So that's going to give me 54. My compost pile is reasonably large. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Not too bad. So, alright, 11, 13. We'll just add these up as we go. Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So, we're at 88. Growth. We've got fully grown, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17 growth. Okay. And our landscape cards that score 3 points for every one of these guys here. So that's 3. 3 points for a mushroom. 6. Nothing. This one is going to be 15. So that puts us at 21. That one didn't score anything. Okay. So 21 for those gives me 26. And then for this card, we had how many mushrooms? 1, 2, 3, 4 mushrooms, which gives us 13. Okay. We had 6 points for every 2 cards with a growth value of 5+. We had 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get 6 points for that. Every 3 growth tokens, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 growth tokens, so 2 times 4 is 8. Not as many as I was hoping. Not at all. And then we got, what is it, 30, 41. Okay. So we have 9, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 194. 194 to 185. So I actually pulled out a win. For a moment of revealing transparency, I played the entire game recording on this little screen you see in the top left corner. Forgot to do my overhead camera. Didn't turn on the record. So I played a whole game, but I lost the first one. So this one I did better on. I did use all the same scoring cards and everything, but I don't know how much that helped. It's just, I just knew what they were, and I knew I wouldn't have to think about it quite as much. I did not count, I don't think soil counts for anything. I thought there was something you could do with soil, but I don't think there is. So that is Earth. It's a, I mean, maybe the best pure tableau builder, possibly. And that's what you're doing the whole game, is building this tableau, trying to create an ecosystem. That's the nature of the theme behind the game, is creating this ecosystem in your tableau by which you score points. And you're utilizing your island, your climate, and your scoring cards to try to make the best of the cards that you're able to obtain during the game. It's pretty enjoyable. A lot of multiplayer solitaire, so if you don't like multiplayer solitaire, then this is probably not going to be a game for you. However, I will say that in the multiplayer solitaire, everybody does their turn simultaneously. So I'm kind of breaking it up into, I'm doing my turn and then Gaia's doing their turn, but if we were to be playing this a multiplayer game, everybody takes their turn. The person who is the main player, which that will rotate around, will pick which action they take, and then everyone else will take the action under it, which you can't really see here, but on a regular player board, there is the action that everyone else gets to take. It's usually an either or, except in the case of the green action where you get to plant one card and draw one card. It goes relatively quickly when all players know what they're doing, or what, how do I say this? When all players know how to play the game, it goes relatively quickly. This is a game that can produce a large amount of AP because there's lots of things to consider when it comes to how can I score my tableau to the best of its ability. So if you have players that are AP prone, this is not going to be helpful to them. You want to be able to kind of, figure out what you're kind of aiming for, and you saw a little bit of what I did there, where I kind of I divided things into 2 piles: cards I didn't think I was going to play, and then cards I was pretty sure I was going to play. That changed slightly toward the end of the game, but for the most part, I stuck with that, and that helped a great deal when it came to making my decisions from turn to turn, because I wasn't sorting through every single card I had in my hand. This is beautifully designed. The art on the cards is great, photorealistic earth art, so think like Ark Nova and the animals with regard to how the art looks on the cards. It is pretty when it's laid out. It makes for a nice presentation. There is a little bit of takedown here, as you can see, but it's not too bad. Most of the pieces are pretty easy. I have the retail copy. I think the only difference between the retail copy and maybe a Kickstarter copy is the soil, which I believe are tokens. If you watch Paul Grogan's playthrough, I think he has like soil tokens that came probably with a Kickstarter version. So that might be, if you like that upgrade, that might be a thing you want to go after. But in general, I don't think it makes that much difference. I think the tokens are pretty nice. I think the boards are recycled. These are not like high quality boards. They're going to warp just a little bit, but they're still good. It's a pleasant game. I don't know, where this will rank long term for me, but it ranks reasonably high. This is a fun game. I enjoy playing it, and I can easily play it a few times in a row and not be tired of it, because the puzzle that it creates in my head in trying to master the scoring of points is pretty fun, and the variability between cards is nice. It's a good variability overall, and there's a lot of room for different combinations. Even though a lot of the scoring can be similar, there are enough different combinations that in most cases, the last two games I played with people, the scoring was trying to get all of something in columns. And so that was how I was mastering this, trying to get the best score. In this particular game, it wasn't really about scoring in columns. It was more about trying to get those growth tokens on the board. And I didn't do as good at that, but I managed to get that one card that was probably worth, what, 15, 25 points for that one card. So that was probably my game-winning card right there, was nabbing that one and getting a ton of points off of that particular card. There are several cards in the game that can do that, and there are lots of different connections between cards you can create in your ecosystem, so you end up getting a pretty nice score off just a few cards. But you have to work at it, and you have to be pretty aggressive with how you're willing to get rid of and compost cards, and it makes it for a pretty entertaining game. So hopefully we'll take this with us on our trip this summer to the northern to Wyoming, and maybe get to play this one in an Earth-like environment in the mountains. So thanks for joining me. Unraveled Game Thoughts. Please post any comments, thoughts you have on this game, if you like it, dislike it, had a chance to play it, questions you might have about the game. I will answer whatever I can. Until next time, have a great rest of your week.